Hello, yes, and welcome to an episode of MLS Ireland. Well, I'll be bringing to you my predictions for week 9, 8, 7, 6, maybe, I don't know. So stay tuned. Perfect, thank you very much for joining me. Yes, my name is Sean and this is my prediction show, and thank you very much for those newly subscribed. And if you're new to this, hit that subscribe button because I'm up to 130 and sure, I'm just about this much off, 1,000, so keep it up. If you're new to this is my prediction show. I do predictions on MLS games mostly and I'm pretty bad at this, so well, I'm alright. I did pretty badly last week in fairness, so if anybody did a couple of bets on what you saw on this, I do apologise, and your refunds are in the post, so stay there and wait my instructions. So might as well start off with the first one, which is Houston Dynamo against Sporting Kansas City. Houston Dynamo already beat Sporting Kansas City already, which was like 5-2 a couple of weeks ago, which was a pretty impressive result. Saying that, Sporting Kansas City aren't a bad team. Houston Dynamo are a very sporadic team. Houston Dynamo have only lost, out of 3 games they've only won 1 at home, whereas Sporting Kansas City won 3 out of the 4 away from home. So this game is completely up in the air. As I said, MLS is really hard to predict. So saying that, on basic recent results, the way the last game went, I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Houston Dynamo. I think Sporting Kansas City are going to try gain momentum in this game and really go for it, and then kind of Houston Dynamo is just going to beat them on the counter attack, and just going to be another game. But I think Sporting Kansas City be a bit more wiser, hence it's not going to be 5 goals. So well done. Next is Orlando against Atlanta. I know Orlando beat Atlanta not so long ago, and then Orlando drew against Nashville, and then Atlanta drew against Inter Miami. So these two teams are kind of not in great shape after the MLS tournament. Well, Atlanta hasn't been in great shape at all. So saying that, I am going to go for Orlando to win this one. I'm thinking basically because they won their last game, or Atlanta are not really in a great place with they're trying to sell PT Martinez. Orlando have probably a better transfer window and they've done a better option than getting their manager in. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Orlando. Orlando should really get this one over the line, unless Atlanta has a point to prove, which is understandable. But I think Orlando are just a better team at the moment, better managed, and yeah, better all around at the moment. Vancouver against Toronto. This game is the 3rd game of this season so far. The first 2 games were in Toronto, where Toronto won those games. Now they're playing in Vancouver. So, saying that, Vancouver aren't a particularly very good team at the moment, whereas Toronto lost against Montreal, which was a big surprise because I thought they were going to beat them, because the game before that they played Montreal and won 1-0 away from home. So then they went to 1. This is MLS, so this is really messed up. Even the schedule's fucked up at the moment. But saying that, I'm thinking Toronto should win this one 2-0. They probably have a better team. Well, they do have a better team, but I think with that defeat against Montreal, I think they have a lot more to prove. So yes, indeed. The next one is San Jose against Colorado Rapids. Quite frankly, this game is going to be one of those games where I don't think many people outside MLS will be watching. San Jose have only played 2 games at home, drew 1, lost 1, whereas Colorado won their first one, then lost the second ones. So saying that, I think San Jose are a better team. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 win to San Jose, even though that they did get beat by Los Angeles FC quite badly last week, or midweek, a few days ago. There's a lot of games on. Anyway, the next one is DC United against New York City FC. DC United beat New York Red Bulls, which is a complete and utter mind melt. So watch them. Probably get beat in this game because they're coming up against the New York City FC team, who beat, which was a surprise to me, to New England, because New England is one of those teams who would kind of anyway, play their good game against New York City FC. But up against DC United, do I think New York City FC should have this one? It's a tricky one. I think it's one of those games where DC United will probably win. I don't think this game is going to be a back and forward game like a lot of those games have been so far. So I'm going to go for a 1-0 win to DC United against New York City FC. DC United probably have. I think it's one of those games where I think New York City are probably just exhausted themselves and they've done very well. And I think this is a game where they're going to blimp, but then come back again next week. No stupid things. The next one is Red Bulls against Philadelphia. Philadelphia kind of disappointed me during the week there. They got beat. Well, last week they got beat by Columbus Crew 1-0, which wasn't really a. I thought they were actually going to win that game because they look impressive at the moment. But coming up against a New York Red Bulls team in New York, my prediction is for this one is going to be like a 1-1 draw. I think Red Bull are better at home. They've lost their last game granted at home. Philadelphia aren't in great shape at the moment when they lost. Well, I think Philadelphia are the better team in this one, but I think Red Bull probably are going to have a good game in this one, so I'm going to go for a 1-0. Chicago Fire against New England Revolution. Chicago Fire are a very, very weird team. They won 1, lost 2, then won again at home. So saying that against New England Revolution, who won, drew, 1. So this game is completely up in the air. Chicago Fire probably would be a better team away from home against New England Revolution. So I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. I think this game's probably going to have a lot of goals in it, and Chicago Fire are great at scoring goals, but they're not great at conceding them as well. So I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw in that one. Columbus Crew against FC Cincinnati. Columbus Crew are probably the far better team here. Cincinnati are a team who would probably shock, as I'm saying that. I don't see them really winning this game, so I'm going to go for a Columbus 3, Cincinnati 0. Thanks. Yeah, Cincinnati. Okay, next one is Inter against Nashville. I think, could be wrong in this one. I think Inter Miami are starting to show, with that draw against Atlanta, they're capable of doing well in games where they don't have much possession. They're coming up against a Nashville team who don't have much possession. It is going to be a tricky one. I do think Nashville are a good team, but I think Inter Miami may shock everybody in this one and go for their second win of the whole MLS career. So I'm going to go for a 1-0 win to Inter Miami. So congratulations, folks. Next one is Minnesota against Real Salt Lake. Minnesota kind of disappointing me this season at the moment. They don't seem to be themselves. This is their second game at home. They lost their first game at home. They're coming up against a Real Salt Lake who are still in weirdness at the moment. So I'm gonna go for a I'm gonna go for a 2-1 win to Minnesota. Minnesota are probably just that better at the moment, and as I said, Real Salt Lake aren't having the greatest time off it at the moment. Even though that they drew against Seattle, which is a pretty impressive result, even though they scored at the last 5 minutes. You know what I mean. I think Minnesota probably should win this game. The next one is Seattle Sounders against Portland Timbers. Sorry, just let it stretch out for a second. I do think this one's going to be a good one. So Seattle against Portland Timbers in Seattle. Seattle, who I was just basically talking about, drew to Real Salt Lake. So that was an interesting one. I don't think Portland may win this one, unfortunately. I think it will be a Seattle win. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 win to Seattle, just at home. It's one of those games, even though this is a game where Portland upset kind of the whole odds when you think they're going to lose this game, then they win. And if you think, oh, they're going to win this game, then they lose. That just sums up basically MLS, really, unfortunately. And then the last week is another El Tráfico against the two LA teams. Galaxy against Football Club. Sorry, Corona. Don't really have Corona. It's going to be Galaxy against LAFC. Galaxy, who loved their game last time against them, and they really beat them. And then they beat Portland 3-2, which was an impressive result as well. They're coming up against a LAFC who got beat by them. Now you're playing them again. And even though that they won last week, which was a pretty impressive result, they won 5-1 against San Jose. I predicted 2-1 in that game, so I got the 1 right and I got the result right, so excellent. Anyway, I'm going to go for a LAFC win on this one. I know it's going to be like a 3-1. I think they learned their lesson after the last game when they got beat by LA Galaxy for shouldn't have started Vela. So I'm going to go for a 3-1. So that is my predictions. If you enjoyed them, as I said, hit the subscribe button. Like, comment and share, I think this is the term is used on this thing. And I hope to see you on the next one. Don't know when that is. Probably this Thursday, Friday, Tuesday, whatever it is. I'll see you then. Bye now.